Hello and welcome to Real Actors, Real Answers, the podcast where you are the star. Today, I have the privilege and honor of interviewing Kaylee Keller. Kaylee Keller is, where do I start? She's an actress. She's a songwriter. She's a producer. She's a lot of beautiful, wonderful things that God has given her gifts to use for His glory and to bless others. And she's a blessing. It's really a privilege to know her. So without further ado, hey, Kelly, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for that intro. I really appreciate it. God's been very good to me.
So I got to tell you, those guitars, can you play all of those behind you?
All the guitars I can play. The banjo, it's a work in progress. This is a family heirloom, so I hope to learn it someday, but I'm not quite there yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, quality takes time. Don't rush it. Otherwise it's not quality. Banjo, I can only imagine what I've seen anyway. People playing. Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Where do you live? Where are you from?
So I'm from Kansas. I was born and raised in Southwest Kansas, but I moved to Montana about a year ago. So now I'm in the mountains of Montana.
Why did you move?
I moved for a job opportunity, and it's a beautiful location. So for both of those reasons,
Okay.
yeah.
Can only imagine. I mean, I see squirrels and rabbits. You probably see buffalo and elk and things.
Yeah, there's a lot of wildlife. I saw a baby bear crossing the road on a drive home the other day.
Such a privilege.
Yeah, it's a privilege. I don't necessarily want to see bears, but but yeah, I was driving home with a friend and a big baby bear like ran across the road by the river and I was like
That's fun. Okay.
yeah, I'm becoming a mountain girl. So I'm still
Different than Kansas. Kansas doesn't have mountains, do they?
No, Kansas is super flat and it's ag country. So I grew up in a lot of ag, nearby ag and farming and just small town stuff. So this is new. I feel like I'm in the big mountains, being like, I don't know, living off the land. It's a very new experience. I mean, you do with farming, but it's just a different kind of experience here. But it's been a gift. But yeah, I moved out for some family and for work, and I do a lot of different things. I'm currently the worship director at a local church here. I teach guitar lessons, hence why we're in my studio, my guitar room. And I'm acting in a series called Love and Secrets, and whatever else pops up, I do if it's music related. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Music was created in heaven. You probably knew that. You knew, right? You knew that?
Yes.
Isn't that
Yeah.
amazing? I mean, He's given us the privilege of using His gifts for His glory down here to fulfill our dreams and, back and forth. But I was amazed when someone told me music was created in heaven. And I had
Yeah.
to think about that for a while. It's like, you're right. It is. There's a lot of biblical reasons for that.
Yeah. Music is powerful, especially even worship music. There's scriptures that talk about how Lucifer, before he fell, he was the angel leading the angel choirs and how he actually has music instruments made into him. So he was the head worshiper in all of heaven, leading music. And when he fell, obviously, that his music of that ended. But it just tells you the influence that music has, and I think it's a huge spiritual warfare on earth because he led worship to God in heaven, and now he tries to lead worship to himself on earth. And so the power and battle of music is really biblical. There's always something new to learn about it.
Sure. No, it's very true. And something really caught my spirit when you said that he had musical instruments built into him, created in him. Think
Yeah.
about that just for a minute. We have the Holy Spirit and the one who created music in the first place. How? I don't know. I'll have a lot of questions later. But it's like you have, and I have the built in within us, lack of better word, the ability to be in front of a camera, the ability to sing, the ability to dance. Oh, I don't dance good. Well, that's why you learn, It's either your thing or it's not. But that's amazing, because everybody has a talent.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned Love and Secrets. That um, title alone makes you very curious. Love and Secrets. Okay, I'm interested, Um, tell us a little bit about that, whatever you can tell, depending on,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the title, Love and Secrets. Um, Marty and the songwriter Sherry, when they wrote that, or sorry, not, I think I said songwriter, scriptwriter Sherry, when they wrote that, they wanted it to be intriguing and make you question. And when you read the script, when you're performing it, you can see how those two, intertwine. But there's even so many secrets I don't know. I'm constantly asking, like, what are the secrets? What are the secrets? What are the secrets? And they go, oh, we can't tell you yet because we can't give away spoilers. So I don't know a lot of the secrets, to be honest. I think they're going to be fresh with me as with the viewer. But right now, what I can share is that it's coming soon. And at this point, it's going to be a TV series. It's family friendly, and the genres include comedy, drama, and romance. So it's a rom-com drama. And
Okay.
yeah, and that's really fun. I play Lisa Brooks, who is a singer-songwriter who was once a lawyer, and she grew up in a very strict home where she was really encouraged to go to law school and become a lawyer. And she kind of leaves that life and is exploring and finding herself. And she realizes her true passion is songwriting and music. So you get to follow this journey of this girl named Lisa who is starting to fall in love again with music. And she works on a ranch for a widowed ranch owner named Miss Faye, who has a interesting son named Ben, who you get to see, Lisa and Ben interact on the ranch. So it's a really fun twist. I feel like it's got a tiny bit of Hallmark dust on it, which is like, who doesn't want to be in a Hallmark movie?
Right.
But it's also unpredictable, much more unpredictable, and really well done. And is going to have some really beautiful, deep themed messages. We've got loss, love, we have some secrets, problem and solution, resolving those secrets, resolving those hurts, resolving those pains, as well as watching people fall in love and figure out their passions. So it's exciting. I'm really loving it so far.
How are you like the character? I have to ask this because you mentioned ranch and you're from Kansas. So, um, how do you relate? Can you relate to this Lisa in their different ways?
Yeah, I relate to her in a lot of different ways, which is fun. I relate to her as far as the artsy side goes. Being a songwriter, getting to sing. I actually bring this guitar. You'll see this guy in the show. So that aspect's fun. I get to do a lot of my own artistry combined with her, like find one for her. So that's really fun. I relate to her in that way. As far as ranch work goes, even though I lived in ag country, I did not grow up on a farm. I grew up in just like a sweet community, small neighborhood. So I'm not a farm girl. And so it's fun to explore that through Lisa because Lisa's not either. She comes and she's learning how to do it. So as Lisa learns, I too am learning.
That's fabulous. You can breathe your own life into it. It's like meeting a good friend and you're working together.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. There's just a lot of things that are really similar, but yet we get to kind of discover together. And another fun thing, one thing that she is that is a bit different than me is she's a little more um, bold conversationally. So you'll see her say some stuff. She's not afraid to say what she thinks because she is a lawyer to some regard. So she can debate heavy and she will tell you what she thinks and she actually has to really cap that, cap, her intensity and her directness. And in real life, like me, I'm a little bit more, I filter what I say before I say it. I'm not really the opposite. So it's kind of fun to get to be a little bit fierce and a little bit extra bold and say the stuff that we think, but would be too afraid to say. I get to say it to Lisa. So I've enjoyed it. It's been fun.
That's fun. I
Yeah.
like that. Work should be fun. There's enough, there's enough hard work. And as you know, acting is hard work. It's a lot of, in our case, it's a lot of prayer, meditation, reflection. I don't like to say mistakes in this case, learning curves, could you make that a little bigger? Could you bring that down, in a direction? Speaking of which, can you tell me who's directing this?
Yes. So the directors are Marty Jean Louis and Cameron Arnett. So they are directing it. They're also some of the producers, and they're exceptional. They're really wonderful. Working with them makes such a difference when you're on set, and you're in character and you're getting filmed, just the way that they lead you through scenes, the way that they set up a scene. They can also sense insecurity. So at any time where me or other actors were getting insecure or questioning maybe the way that we just did a take, it'd be like we did a take and they would say, okay, cut, let's move on. There was one point I was like, no, wait, no, I didn't like that. No, let me redo it. And sometimes they're very gracious to let you do it. And sometimes they're like, honestly, like that was so good. You've got to trust me. We would redo it if we need to. This is so good, and be confident. And one thing they said a lot to all of the actors that were there was, you have been chosen for this part. This isn't an audition anymore. Now that we're in person and we're filming, like you're not competing to hold this role. We already believe in you, and we already know that you are capable of doing this, or you wouldn't be here. So now have fun. Because I think sometimes, when you're in front of the directors and when you're in front of the cast, like you can still try hard to like earn that part. And the truth is, it's already been given to you. So they just constantly reminded us like, hey, you are who we chose, and you're here for a reason. The Lord chose you for this. They are Christians as well, which is huge. And they were so prayerful through this whole process, which made a big difference. I mean, we prayed every morning together. We prayed over different scenes. I got to open the morning in worship. So it's just to know that they are like in tune with the Lord and affirming you as an actor, that like God chose you to be there too, is everything. It gives you such a safety to just have fun.
So God gave you like a sort of family in this case, at least temporarily, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Wow.
it feels like that. Even members that are, a part of the production, not necessarily cast, but, crew members and production members are referring to it as the Love and Secrets family. And even when we're not filming, we have a group chat going on. I talked to a fellow cast member the other day, like a week ago. We're just constantly every week checking in and communicating and filling each other in on what's going on outside of the film. And so, yeah, it's really become this beautiful little family. So I'm glad. And we just started. It hasn't even come out yet. And all of these beautiful things are taking place. So I just can't wait for it to be released and to see people's response and go from there.
Well, everything's a seed. I've learned this, and as a coach, I teach people that, including remind myself that everything in the Bible is about a seed. You plant a seed. We're farmers. You plant seeds. You don't dig them up. You leave them alone. And so, like for instance, the show The Chosen, right? They started out as not knowing how are we going to get funded. I mean, Lord, don't you see? Of course I do. But and now it's pretty big. That's no different. God doesn't play favorites. You don't know where that's going, and that's really cool, because you're planting seeds of faith with the group, with your TV disciples, and then you just let God take care of the. You do your work, of course, but you don't. You just leave the seed alone. I'm excited for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to see it grow. I'm trying to leave it alone. I'm so excited. I'm like, I want to see the fruit. And I'm like, okay.
There's nothing wrong with being eager. As a farmer looks out his window or her window, it's okay to watch. Just don't go out there and I got this. Really?
Yeah.
Speaking of family, how does your family support you in your endeavors?
Incredibly so. I got into this industry when I was 15. My first song was produced and released when I was like 16. So I've been doing this I'm 25, so 10 years now. And family support is everything, but because I was so young, my mom had to definitely jump in a different way. Like if she's more than supportive, she was my side by side, and she still is. And I'm really grateful because this is a really tough industry. Whether you're in the Christian side or the secular side, both is very difficult. And as a young artist or actor or just young person in general, like you're very vulnerable. So having an older adult or a family member or somebody that you trust who has wisdom that you don't come alongside you and partner with you and help you on everything and help you move forward is huge. So family has been huge. You know, my brothers are very supportive of what I do. They're always excited for me. And my mom's actually, you know, she's still very much my partner. She started at this with me when I was 15, and she actually has her own, she gained her own background before, you know, she's an award-winning producer before I was born, or like right when I was a baby, she got some awards for production. And so she has some industry knowledge in general. So now it's fun because now that I'm older, we both get hired for different projects. And for Love and Secrets, we actually get to do it together. She's on set too, which is
cool.
is just so cool. And she's become part of the Love and Secrets family, and that's just cool how God did that. But yeah, family's everything, and mine's been very supportive, and more so even my mom. She's still somebody that I hold very close. I'm very grateful for her. So that's also, you know, when people ask like what's some of your biggest advice you would give up and coming actors, you know, singers, just, you know, speakers, whatever, is to find that person who, you know, loves the Lord, if you're a Christian, who is going to protect you and who's going to be a partner in this with you, because God never made us to do stuff alone. And being young, you're very vulnerable, and a lot of, you know, things can happen if you don't have that person to take care of you, look out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. You're absolutely right. You know, and God does look out for you. I like to say that God doesn't blink. You know, we blink. Okay. Yes, Jesus blinked. He was in a human form. But I mean, God doesn't miss anything. You know, his eyes are always open all the
I love
time,
him.
you know. I got to ask about your audition for Love and Secrets. How did that come about? Yeah, how did that come about?
Yeah, it was a God process. What ended up happening is, you know, I have acting experience from when I was younger. I got some scholarships for acting schools, and I was getting really into going to acting school, and I was training and I was auditioning for films and stuff. And then when my music career took off, acting got more, you know, I had to push to the side while I was doing more music-based things. So I was acting in my music videos, or I was performing and using those skill sets in music, but it was much more music-based. So there had been a good about 6-year period that I haven't been in any films. I haven't been in any, you know, short films or independents or just any film for the matter, because I've been, you know, doing music and shows. So what ended up happening is an old friend of mine that I met at AMTC, which was an old showcasing program for actors, models, and talents for Christ, got a hold of me, and she said, "Hey, Marty Jean Louis is getting ready to do this project, and he's looking for somebody just like you. And I think you would be really great. I remember that you do act and that you won an award for acting back at AMTC. And like, I remember your skill set in that. But most importantly, he's looking for somebody with strong character, who's really strong on their convictions for the Lord and really lives that kind of lifestyle." And so she said, "So I recommended you. I think he's going to call you in the next like 5 minutes." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then my phone rang with Marty, and Marty presented the opportunity, you know, because of what Laura had said. He was interested in having me audition. So I think it was about a month or two later, he hosts the International Christian Film and Music Festival in Florida. So it's called ICFF. It's a huge film festival. And there's a lot of opportunities there for actors to audition in front of casting directors and get opportunities. So he asked me to fly down and to audition in person with him. and to also sing worship at the festival. So I did that, and after meeting in person and after auditioning in person in the room, he presented the part to me. And then 2 years later, which is now this year, we actually filmed it. So I got the part 2 years ago before the script was even fully finished.
So you had to wait.
A long time, yeah. A long
Yeah, but
time.
yeah, because traditionally actors and actresses were picked last
Hmm.
after everything is set up. So that's very unusual. They were scouting around for the right people. It's a different way of doing things. I kind of like that, because you can get so involved as you write songs, right? Yeah, you can
Oh,
so
yes.
involved in I'm all alone and I'm writing, and it's like you get so focused. You must reach out to other people. Dreams are a lot more fun when they're shared, with the right people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the way that Marty and Cameron have gone about this process is different than what I hear typically happens. It's been a few years, like I said, since I've been in anything, but from what I hear is the usual, what I had experienced as the usual. But I actually think it's better, and in some regards, especially for this project, it has been really cool. So the way, I got the part about 2 years ago, which was a gift. I was the first one cast, and then he was finishing writing the script with Sherry, who co-wrote the script with him, with their script writer. And then once it was ready to go, they picked another person for the part, which was Shannon Fields, because of past experience with her. So we both were cast. And then for the others, they actually did online Zoom auditions. So a casting agent lined up auditions, and we would like read just like this, our parts with production and with different actors, and then they picked based on some of that, and based on like how Zoom calls went. We did callbacks on Zoom. We did a whole bunch on Zoom. And then before we filmed, we only had a couple days of filming that would take place for this first pilot episode. So they wanted to just be super prepared ahead of time because, as you know, on set, every minute is money. Every minute costs money on set. So they wanted to utilize funds as much as possible and prepare ahead of time. So what they encouraged us to do was get to know each other as individuals. Like every actor set up a call with each other, get to know each other personally, and then get to know each other through our characters and create dynamics with our characters, things that were unwritten, all those things that help you create this life, create and bring your character to life, they encouraged us to do. So each of us, all the actors participated. We all got to know each other, built these extensive backgrounds for characters as it was appropriate for the script, whatever the scenes include, and then run through parts. And then what they did is they did several like workshops where Cameron and Marty and some of the other producers would be on Zoom, and we would read a part that we would do in the film. Like we acted it out just as we were going to do it. And they gave us notes. They told us what they liked, what they didn't like. They pretty much did like a workshop with us. And we did that with all of our characters, all of our parts. And then like 2 weeks before we filmed, we did one big Zoom with everybody involved. And we did a full performance like of it as much as you can on Zoom. We literally acted out the entire episode. And then when we were in person, we had already created so much connection and backstory, and we'd already went over how we were going to go about certain things that when we were in person, it took off all those pressures, and we were able to just really dive in and add to the character because we'd done so much prepping ahead of time. So we were able to just have fun with the props and have fun with the scenes and have fun with the physical location because we were so prepared. So that was really special. It was
I
awesome.
would I would love to work with people like that. Everything, I don't even know what to say. I'm kind of overwhelmed in a good way to work with people that can see the vision. The Bible talks about without a vision, my people perish.
Yeah.
And that doesn't always mean, in my story book, it doesn't always mean like, you're dead. It means your vision, your dream, not properly executed beforehand in preparation, it can die, it can fade, it can fizzle out, and the devil can get in there. You see, I told you so. Did God really say? Same
Oh
line,
yeah. Oh
but
yeah. I had
wow.
that for the 2 years, right? Before we filmed anything. Like, are
Oh,
you really going to get the part? Are you really? Did they reconsider? Is it actually going to happen? Or was it? Because sometimes
yeah.
with film, people have good intention and you want to make a film, but sometimes funding falls through or something comes up and you have to completely scrap the idea. So for those 2 years, though Marty was very affirming the whole time, I just sometimes in the back of my mind, I'd be like, is this really going to happen though? Because it sounded so good to be true, right? The whole thing sounds so good. So I was like, is this though? Is this? Are you sure, God? It's been like 2 years,
Are you sure, God? Yeah, I know. No, it's there's so many scriptures coming to my mind now. Man has never seen nor felt what, I forgot where it was. I know what I'm thinking. What God has prepared for those that love him.
Oh yeah, no eye has ever seen and no ear has ever heard the good things that God has in store for those who love him, or something
Yeah,
along those lines.
because we have this dream. Do you see this? This is great. You gave me this dream. Yeah, but wait until it grows.
Yeah.
So, now I have a question for you. If you had a choice, which we always do, but we're just gonna have fun here. What do you love better, acting or singing?
Oh, that's a good question. Hmm. It's actually something that's a great. I actually ask myself that probably every season. Like, what do I want to do more of in this season? It's something that really teeter totters because when I was younger, I actually was introduced to acting first. I grew up doing musical theater. So music was always to accompany your acting, right? Like you sang because of your like show that you were in. So to me, I grew up as an actress and I grew up watching Shirley Temple movies, which is how I even got interested in acting.
Yeah,
My first love, I always say, was acting because I always saw it in that way, very character acting, theater, musical theater, and music, you sang an accent with your character. And so even though I loved to sing and I would sing growing up, most of the time I just sang around whatever acting piece I did. And so as I got older, by the time I went to AMTC, I had actually had a record label representative approach me and say, hey, because I had did a little bit, like I did a whole performance where I like clogged and sang, and I did a performance. And so he said, hey, if you start writing your own songs and you discover your own artistry voice, like a music voice outside of performing, I would be very interested in hearing some of your demos and talking about a potential development deal for you. And that was really the first time, I think I was 15, 14 maybe at the time I did AMTC, that it occurred to me like, oh, I guess I could go singer songwriter route. So, a couple days later, I'm flying home on an airplane and mom and I are writing songs for the first time. I didn't grow up just writing songs. So we're writing songs for the first time. A couple months later, put an EP together. And then I was doing acting school and then I did the CP and then I ended up getting a development deal with some higher ups in the music industry. And that's when I went on this kind of artistry journey. But it was weird for me because I had to discover my own voice outside of being a character. Because before I was really used to being a character and singing an accent. And now I have to kind of establish my own voice as Kaylee and figure out what that looks like. So then I've been doing that since. So different seasons, I love them differently. But I think down in my heart, I am a performer. And that's my favorite thing is to perform. And so I would say it probably will always be acting because of sweet Shirley Temple.
okay. Hey, she was fabulous. When she grew older, I believe she became a politician of all sorts. But
Yeah.
no, I used to watch those, and you're 25, and you know about Shirley Temple. That's your mom, isn't it?
Yeah,
Influence? Yeah.
yeah, she did. She bought me the VHSs and I think they were VHSs. No, maybe DVDs as I got a little older. But when I was about 6, I was already kind of singing around the house and stuff, and mom thought I would enjoy watching Shirley Temple. So she showed me these Shirley Temple films, and I fell in love with Shirley Temple. I wanted to curl my hair like her. I wanted to sing like her.
Okay.
Um, I named everything Shirley Temple. I had a boy bunny. His name was Shirley Temple. I started taking singing lessons. I only sang her songs. I actually started taking tap dance because she could tap. And so I just got so submersed in that. And then I found out, maybe by the time I was like 8 or 9, that like Shirley was much older than me and that it was like a different time period of her acting. And I didn't know that. Like, I guess I thought we were the same age. And that really bummed me out. I don't know why, but I thought she was my age and it just really bummed me out. I don't know why. But
Because
then
you only saw her at that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And since then, I admire a lot of what she did. She's a very incredible, inspiring woman. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was through her I think I saw that you could do this for a living. You could act and sing and dance. And my biggest thing with Shirley is that she always brought joy to the screen, right? Like her purpose behind the entertaining was to uplift spirits, and she was very famous at the time during that very depressed era for making people laugh, for making people smile. And some of the films she does is serious, but she's very much a light in those films. So I was like, I can do this for a living and make people laugh and make them smile, and that's what I try to do now.
I got a question. I've been listening very closely, and I got a question. I know you're 25. You're new to the planet.
Oh.
But have you ever wistfully dreamed or imagined yourself, gee, wish I was born in the 1800s or 1600s? Have you ever thought that ever?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Poodle skirts, are you kidding me? The
Okay.
the pokey glasses and the poodle skirts and the diners where there's black and white tiles. I mean, we still have some now, but just to walk in your poodle skirt and your little red glasses and like share a shake, like roller skate
Like
around. Yeah,
like Back to the
definitely.
Future, if you're familiar with that,
Yes.
in the
Hmm.
50s. And I have too, okay? And I used to say, I'm kind of over myself now, but I'm getting to something, trust me, about you. But it's like, Lord, why wasn't I born in the 1600s? I could have been a knight. I could have been, all of that. Okay, that's good. It makes him laugh, I'm sure. But however, let's go back to Shirley. Okay, Shirley, what you said was so powerful. You said that Shirley Temple was there as a light because during that time there was Depression era. There was just a lot of different things happening. And then World War II, and just on and on it goes. Okay, so God knows when we're supposed to be born, such as a time as this, like the Bible says. And you know what? This is all this back to you, serving back to you. There's COVID schmovid. There is the government, and there's a lot of unrest. Put it that way, okay? And guess what? I have heard your singing. Your singing is beautiful. Your singing is anointed. And I can't wait to see Love and Secrets. But your singing hits me right here. It's fun. You make it fun. And it's just beautiful. And there's a purity coming from your lips. And it's just, what I'm trying to say is, you're a light right now, like Shirley Temple was then.
Thank you.
That's what I'm
Oh,
trying to point out. I went through all of that to come to that.
no, that means a lot. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I think, like you said, it's easy to question sometimes, like where we're at in our life. Like, Lord, why this time? Why am I born for this time? Why not a different time? Sometimes I question, am I living out the page that the Lord wrote for me today? Am I somewhere else in the book that I'm not supposed to be? Am I where I'm supposed to be? And the Lord gives me constant reminders through people like yourself and through others, and just little sweet reminders that I'm right where I'm supposed to be, right? We're not off track. We're not floating around. We're not forgotten. Like you said, God never blinks, right? We are
Right.
right where we're supposed to be, and to find rest in that. Because with all of the unrest happening, it's easy to get caught up, and it's easy to feel so overwhelmed by life And the Lord is just constantly telling me right now to enjoy the present, to enjoy the day to day, to enjoy the moment, and to not get so caught up in the what coulds and ifs and whens, but to enjoy just being present with Him in the everyday. And when we do that, it is absolutely life changing. It's absolutely life changing just to be in His presence and to choose to be content, right? To choose to be content with whatever happens today. And that has changed my outlook on music, because especially the entertainment industry, I think with many industries, but I mean, like with business and stuff, there's always a ladder to climb. And there's this constant need of like staying busy. Are you working hard enough? Are you getting in front of who you need to? Are you meeting the right people, doing the right things? And you can constantly work so hard and get all these incredible opportunities. But when you look back, you didn't enjoy any of it. And oftentimes we work in a circle, right? We just work in a circle. And to be present and to like choose to trust the Lord's timing is everything. So thank you. And thank you for what you said about the gifting and being anointed. That really means so much. That to me is like glory to God. So thank you.
You're welcome. We're a conduit for Him.
Yeah.
So
what were you gonna say?
Oh yeah, you could tell. It's like I've recently found this out, and I got to share this with you, and of course all of you out there. Bob Proctor, he's gone now. He was a writer and a speaker, and just wonderful things, you know. But he said this, and it's like whoa, it's like epiphany. Don't achieve, create. Mm. And I thought, what does that mean? Because I got to achieve. I got to go. I got to, No. Take a child. You ever see a child on a beach building a sandcastle with the parents or whatever? Right? Okay. and they are focused and they are doing this, and there's some kind of they're creating and they're enjoying what they create. Achievement is easy. Okay. You and I met here. Praise the Lord for that. But you and I met here and we achieved connection, and that's good. Thank you, Jesus, for the internet connection that's not breaking, but to create, that's what Adam did with God and God did with Adam. They took, like you said earlier, to rest. God chose you to rest and enjoy the journey, because that's what it is. It's like Pilgrim's Progress, You enjoy the journey, the step. That's how you learn to walk with Him. Yeah.
Yeah, oftentimes, like you said, we're born for such a time as this, right? So we're born to do something with the gifts and the talents God's made in us like instruments from before we were born. We're called to do something that's never been done before, because every single person has their very own call, right? Every single person has something that they can do that no one ever will be able to do, because God anointed that person for that. And just like you said, it's part of the journey with Him. We can achieve things, we can go, and success is great. And, the Lord, with God, there is success. When you're in alignment with what God's called you to do, there will be success. But like you said, what's more important is to co-create with God, to let God do something through you, to create with Him, because you are called to do something and create something that has never been done before. And the world needs it. The world needs it. They're hungry to hear your story. They're hungry to hear your talents, to however the Lord's going to use that to minister to people is everything. And they're so hungry for it. And so we can't get caught up in achieving and doing what we see everybody else doing, right? Like, oh, that looks like I'm supposed to do that. I'm supposed to do that. I'm supposed to do that. No, we just have to get content in living every day in alignment with God. Cheer everybody else on around you, but stay in tune with what God's going to do. And when He opens up those doors, they're divine, they're different, they're unique. I mean, even with this Love and Secrets thing, I mean, truly, I haven't done film, I haven't done acting in several years, just like full acting side of things. And the process that He's done this, like you said, is so unique. It's not typical. Like, it's not your typical, at this point, standard process. It's something that only God could do. And it was nothing that I had to go and achieve and strive for. I've just been focusing on the day-to-day with God. I've been focusing on what He's called me, taking the music and acting opportunities as He brings them, as He leads them. But I've been just trying to be in tune with Him. I was working at a nonprofit, which has blessed me greatly when I was there. at that time in Wyoming. I was working at a nonprofit doing admin work when I got the phone call, the dream call when I got the call. And it's like, it was nothing. I didn't even know Marty, who he was at the time. I never even been to a film festival before. So I've been to music ones plenty, but I hadn't been to a film one. So it's just amazing, what God will do when you're in alignment with Him. He'll open doors that you could never get for yourself. He'll connect you with people only He could connect you with, Like you and I are connected. This is such a blessing. And it's nothing that you and I mean, yes, like you reached out to me on Facebook, but it's nothing that we could have ever dreamed up.
I
Only
am
God
amazed at
does.
that. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
amazed at that. It's like, Lord, how did I meet Kaylee? It's like, I don't remember. And that's his divine purpose.
Yeah.
And just, it's like, wow. Listen, I got a question for you. I could continue to listen to you. We could, and it's just amazing. You are an absolute delight, and I mean that with all my heart. But how can people get a hold of you and listen to your music and come and contact you for this Love and Secrets that's coming up?
Yeah. Well, thank you. I think you're a delight too. I've really enjoyed this. The best way to get a hold of me is through social media. So I have a Facebook page, I have Instagram, YouTube, um, Kaylee Keller, Kaylee Keller Music. My website, kayleekeller.com. People can direct contact me. So just social media, best way to find me. As far as music goes, I'm on any of the digital platforms. So if you go to Spotify or Google, Apple Music, you type in Kaylee Keller, my music will pop up. So pretty much if you just go to Google, you type in my name, my website, social media, it's music pops up. And I always welcome people to get a hold of me. And I've told you this before, but one of the biggest ways that I learned stuff in the industry is by messaging other people who had done it before. When I was up and coming, I mean, even now I'll reach out to friends and ask questions and stuff, but especially when I was starting, just reaching out to people that I didn't even know very well, but they just were farther than I was, and asking them the process, asking them questions that I had. And the ones that answered me, which was rare, but the ones that answered me have been a part of my life and really helped me in a lot of ways. So I always say I'm very approachable. I want to answer people's questions. Even if I don't know you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. So you can just shoot me a message on social media, and I'll get back and try to help you along in your journey. So
Wow, thank you. If you want friends, you must show yourself friendly. Proverbs. Yeah.
ooh, yeah, that's good.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor, a privilege, and a lot of fun. And you've helped me understand a lot of things today more. Thank you for being on my show, Real Actors, Real Answers.
I appreciate the opportunity. So I've been blessed by this as well. So thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye.